Okay, welcome back again. We are now in the top 10. I've decided to steal an idea from Athena, Wolfram and Heather, who decided that it was kind of cool to play the music in the background. I'm not sure whether you can hear it or not because I've done a filtering of music or any sounds that aren't me speaking, because there's a lot of other sounds going on in here at the moment. I've also realized this time of night is not the best time to film because the screen just now looks very grainy and messy. So I'll see what I can do about recording the others at a better time. We're in the top 10. We got there. Obviously, it should have been done a lot differently. But we're following the same procedure now as the rest. So we'll see how that goes. And this track has moved down. I mentioned not so long ago that the biggest dropper dropped 6 places, and it's actually this one. Dropped 6 places from 2010, where it was sitting pretty at number 4, so it was in the top 5. It comes from 1975. So it's one of the 2 tracks from the 70s, and is, no shock, especially for those who are listening to it in the background, one of the versions of Wish You Were Here that I have in my hand. This one is one of the stories I'm going to be talking about. Obviously, there's different tracks I could choose from this. This is Welcome to the Machine. This CD is from a special box set called Shine On, which came out quite a few years ago, which I was very eager to buy. And the CDs are all done in a little bit of a special way. This one is actually different to all the others in the box set. It even has some writing on it, which bugs me a bit, but there's not a lot I can do about that. The reason for this is when I first moved to Sweden, I was in a flat that was rented by the company that I was working for, and it was a fully furnished flat with a very dodgy TV set that didn't always switch on when you put it on. The result of this dodgy TV set was that there was some extremely dodgy wiring, and one day when I was at work, I got a phone call from the police and saying that the entire flat had burnt down, and would I like to come and salvage anything that was in it. When I travelled around, because then I was only here temporarily, when I travelled around, I was actually travelling with 101 CDs. I was able to travel with that because I had 4 packs that could hold 25 CDs each, and then I always had 1 CD in my CD player, a portable CD player, which I connected to stereos. What happened with this one is, as Athena mentioned in her video about Shine On You Crazy Diamond, that this was a CD that we played when we went to bed every night. I actually did that for a few years before I even met Athena. And what happened was, after I went to collect the things from the fire, I was so pleased to see that all 4 of my cases had survived the fire. So 100 of my CDs had survived. 1 hadn't. And it was this album. It melted in my CD player because it was in there from the night before. So a couple of years later on eBay, I managed to find somebody who was selling the CD. So it's their version, and it comes from a different, I bought it from somebody in the US, and the text is different colors to all the ones in mine. So it's a slightly odd box set now. So that's a little bit of trivia there. Another bit of trivia I have with this band is that I really didn't like them when I was younger. And it was my uncle my Uncle Alan, that was kind of insistent that I had it wrong. And in a different way than some of my friends and family are insistent that I've got the wrong idea about the Beatles. They've never ever managed to convince me. But my uncle just said that he would do me a couple of cassettes to give me a good idea. So I think the first cassette he did me was Dark Side of the Moon on one side and Obscured by Clouds on the other, which I kind of liked. I kind of warmed to straight away. And then the second CD he gave me, I think Atom Heart Mother was on one side and Wish You Were Here was on the other. And Wish You Were Here I kind of fell in love with straight away. For those that have read the newspaper article, because I was in the newspaper, to celebrate my 50th birthday, will know that 5 years ago, Wish You Were Here was my #1 album of all time. So it's not surprising that there's a track from the album in my top 10. Adore this song, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be so high up. It's that bitter resentment about the grabbing music industry. There's lots of lyrics pertaining to that. The whole album is basically about how the music industry and stardom in general devastated Syd Barrett and crippled him, and also the fact that the band are quite distraught about having left him out and the ensuing success that they had without him. But this song is is the most significant when it comes to the music industry, the machine being the music industry. And just pause the song there because the song's already finished, so it's nudging on to another track. It has a video which is used at concerts. It's not a single as such, so it's not an official music video in that way. But it was Gerald Scarfe who did quite a lot of their artwork. He did the artwork for The Wall and so on, and he did the artwork that features in the video of Shine On You Crazy Diamond, also, that you've already seen. If you clicked on that link, it's quite a brutal video with dead bodies and rats and lots of blood, all that kind of thing. Other interesting bit of trivia is there's a heavy metal band on a cover version of this. They're called Shadows Fall. I suppose it's worth a listen. It's kind of interesting because it seems to be basically just I don't know, it feels like they're just doing a direct copy of it. So in some ways it's not really worth the listen, but it's kind of interesting in if you like that sort of thing, but it's not a cover that does anything significant. This track also featured on the final episode of season 4 of Person of Interest, which is a fantastic series. I won't say why it features there, but it has a different take on the machine there for people who have watched that series. But that's where it's kind of cool to hear that kick in when I watched the episode. Now, album I play constantly. Tina mentioned that it's quite a big one in the family, and this song, it's brutal, but it's also beautiful, musically beautiful. I don't think it's one of their best lyrically, but I really get drawn in by the music, and it's one that stayed with me. And like I said, it's nudged down a bit now, so it's that maybe that impact of the lyrics that doesn't hold it up there in the top 5 anymore now that bigger, better lyrical songs have come in there. But it's still a beautiful, beautiful track. And that's how we start the top 10. See you tomorrow for number 9. They're coming thick and fast now, one a day until we get to number 1 on the 1st of Advent. What a way to finish off. See ya.